Please, let's talk about what is currently going on in Burkina Faso. According to the information that we have currently in Burkina Faso, the European Union has now responded to the action of Burkina Faso to expel the European Union diplomat from Burkina Faso. According to the report we have, the European Union Parliament, after passing the resolution condemning Burkina Faso for its crackdown on civil space and democracy and fundamental freedom of Burkinabes, they love the Burkinabes so much. The resolution was met with strong resistance. Burkina Faso military government dismissed the move of the European Union Parliament as neo-colonial interference and accused the European Union of ignoring the country's security realities, but yet had enough cojones and enough, guts to pass a resolution. Now, Burkina Faso called it neo-colonial interference and accused the European Union of ignoring the country's security realities and progress in counter-insurgency. You see, let's not deny the fact that for quite a while the European Union have not said anything concerning how much progress Burkina Faso have made. Most of the time when you look at the proxies of this European state, the only thing that we've seen as condemnation is, talking about, okay, this particular place has been taken over by jihadist group and all of that. So that is what the European Burkina Faso condemned the European Union for. They said the European Union ignored the country's security realities and the progress that the country has made. Now, after the European Union diplomat and representative in Burkina Faso was expelled, which have now shifted consular service. Now, according to the information we have, if there are any Burkinabe citizens that want European Union consular service, they can now go to Lomé in Togo to, apply for consular service for the European Union. So now the information we have now is that the European Union has fired back at Burkina Faso. The European Union has actually shown that they are not going to tolerate what Burkina Faso has done to them. So what did the European Union do? According to the information we have, the European Union have now, they've now made a statement. They condemned the action of Burkina Faso and they said it is extremely undiplomatic. Now, they didn't just stop at saying that the action. Oh, brother Omar, welcome to the live stream. They did not say that the action of Burkina Faso was just undiplomatic. They said it was an effort for Burkina Faso to shut down democracy and to shut down fundamental freedom. That it is the fundamental freedom of the people of Burkina Faso to have access to consular service from the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this particular response from the European Union? And what do you think Burkina Faso is going to do next to handle this issue? So this particular issue is developing very, very quickly. And, we it's happening at much of a breakneck speed, and Burkina Faso just continue to batter through the whole place and just continue to assert their dominance and assert their sovereignty. But this is like this situation now. This is a battle here, and this battle, to me, I can call it a sort of diplomatic attritional warfare, where it's a battle between Burkina Faso and the European Union. It's a contest of who tells the story of Burkina Faso, who writes the story of Burkina Faso, who is going to stand in the position of Burkina Faso when it comes to the international geopolitical landscape. Is Burkina Faso going to have the credibility and the capability to tell their own story? So that is the quarter we have right now. So Burkina Faso expelling the European Union is Burkina Faso asserting their dominance. The era of France representing us in the European Parliament, or France speaking for on behalf of the Sahel states, the United Nations Security Council, is over. Now we're not just expelling this diplomat; we are realigning our geopolitics. We now have a different sphere of geopolitical influence where we have partners like Russia, China, Turkey, North Korea, and things are playing out very, very fast in Burkina Faso, and we're seeing the dividend on the ground. Now, the response of France, after the European Union expulsion, diplomat expulsion, official condemnation, according to the information we have, the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs. Now, the French Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs. So the question we have to ask at this point is the European Union really representing themselves, or is France really representing the European Union in Burkina Faso? So according to the information we have, issued a statement saying it regrets the hostile and unfounded decision of Burkina Faso against the European Union, which it can you add me as an administrator to monitor the share? All right. All right. Should I add it? So I've added you as a moderator to the stream. So now what we do have is that they condemned the action of Burkina Faso. They said it was unfounded. They said they regret the hostility. They described it as the reflection of the concerning trajectory of the Burkinabe authorities. That's what they said. They said the actions of Burkina Faso, they said the movement of Burkina Faso and the trajectory at which Burkina Faso is driving geopolitics too in the Sahel state. They said it's concerning, and they said it is desperate. And they said the only thing they are concerned about is the situation of the citizens of Burkina Faso. That is what they are saying right now. We get the message, but Burkina Faso is saying something different, that you are overstepping boundaries. You are interfering in state affairs. You are not even talking about consular service. That is not what you're doing over here. You are not doing your primary objective in Burkina Faso. You're doing too much. That's what Burkina Faso is trying to say. All right. So now the practical measures, according to the information we have, by early July 2026, France have withdrawn all, diplomatic staff from Burkina Faso. Thank God they were not expelled. They withdrew them, because I do feel that if France did not expel those diplomats by themselves, Burkina Faso was going to do it for them. Because if France withdrew their diplomats and Burkina Faso traveled to the direction of expelling European Union diplomats, it could have been, both France and the European Union at the same time. But I felt like if the French did not withdraw their diplomats, Burkina Faso would have initially sent the message by, sending the French diplomat out of Burkina Faso by declaring them persona non grata and giving them the ultimatum of 72 hours to get out of the country. But that is not the main thing, right? They said at the time they're seeing it as a reciprocal measure, and they feel like that is enough. So, what do you think about this development going on in Burkina Faso? What do you think? Because on every side, Burkina Faso have developed. Have you even heard about the new counter drone factory in Burkina Faso? So Burkina Faso have just developed some modern infrastructure. In Bamako you have Bamex, but in Burkina Faso now you have a nanotech company. Now, what this company do is to develop counter capabilities to the drone, because according to information, they are now seeing they are seeing quadcopters, drone type, with the JNIM, with the ISSP, and all those groups. Their capability has really, really improved, from reconnaissance to drop drones and to a lot of drone capability to FPV. Now, Burkina Faso have now addressed this particular issue. Burkina Faso is not looking at Europe to address the issue. They are not looking at Russia to address the issue. They are not looking at different countries. According to information, it is a company that was backed by Captain Ibrahim Traore, 100% Burkinabe expertise. They are now creating drones. We have seen that in Burkina Faso, they have been able to create mechanized vehicles that demine. Burkina Faso is moving very, very fast. Right now, it might not be at the world class standard, but I can tell you that given the right amount of time, Burkina Faso is definitely going to be there. So what do you think about this response from the European Union? Do you think this response shows some level of leverage? Oh, welcome, Khadija. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the other channel. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, if you have not hit the like button, you can help us get this live up by hitting the like button. Ladies and gentlemen, we really, really appreciate you for coming in. So now, what do you think of this response from the European Union? Do you think this is a show of force? Because anytime the European Union is about to speak, they talk about, you know, peace through strength, show of force, all those type of statements. Do you think they have been able to manifest strength or any type of force in this situation? Because, you know, when somebody expel your diplomats, declare them persona non grata, the next thing you are supposed to do to show that you have some level of dominance is to expel their own diplomat too. All right. But the European Union don't have such leverage. So the question we should be asking right now is that what is the trump card that the European Union has right now that it can use as a bargaining chip against Burkina Faso? Because they need something that they are going to be able to put on the table to tell Burkina Faso that, you know what, you got to renegotiate with us, right? The only thing that I think that the European Union can do is maybe have another parliamentary sitting and maybe pass a resolution that, yeah, Bazoum, because sometimes when they want to pressure a certain country, they don't pressure that country, all right? They pressure other country. All right. So they don't pressure that country, they pressure other country. You heard a certain time they had issues with Burkina Faso. Then the next thing they said Niger should release Mohamed Bazoum. All right. So the question we should ask right now is, and family, I stand to be corrected. Is there anything that you've seen that the European Union have done since they passed the resolution that Bazoum should be released? They've not done anything, ladies and gentlemen. The European Union has not done anything. You see, and I'm beginning to look into the direction of Africa asserting their dominance. You see, after they passed the resolution that they want Mohamed Bazoum, who happens to be their ally at the time, to be released, and nothing happened, nothing happened. So in a kind of way, I sat down and I looked back at everything, and now I'm beginning to think in the direction of maybe people should not even protest anymore. When they make certain resolution or declaration in their parliament, maybe people should not even be bothered. Maybe people should just take it with a pinch of salt and roll with it. Oh, they have spoken. All right, what's next? Because this is how I feel. Because they say we want Mohamed Bazoum to be released unconditionally immediately. So where is Mohamed Bazoum at right now? Where is he? So I believe that we are giving these people too much. You know, I think one thing I've learned about the European Union is that they like the photo op. You know, they like the show off. It's a sort of paparazzi. Like they want to show up and like, oh, Ursula von der Leyen and all of that, Kaya Kallas. And you just call the names are sweet to the tongue, and you be like, oh, Kaya Kallas, Ursula von der Leyen. You know, you just continue to mention all those names and be like, you show up first and all that. So I feel like when they make all this type of resolution, we should just do what Uganda did. You know, just ignore, because you know it is nothing. It is the threats are empty. You know what I mean? And I can't really blame Africans. You know why I can't blame Africans? Because I think Africans are responding because of the colonial paternalistic ideologies that is still lingering. Do you get what I mean? Like, it is not like Africans are really, really taking it serious like that. But you know, a lot of us we were indoctrinated in a certain way where when the European Union speak, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, the European Union, you know? And if you look at our people, I really can't blame our people for reacting in a certain way. You know why? When we were young, our parents, who probably to a certain extent were ignorant, they were ignorant based on what the construct of the system. It was not a society, it was a system. There was a system that was created to incorporate and integrate young Africans coming through the ranks so that they can replicate what their parent did. So the system is like you grew up, your parent put you in certain institution. There is no solid explanation as to why, all right, you are there. Your dad might be in certain, okay, I want you to be this. They tell kids, I want you to study this course. There is no psychological motivation. There is no explanation. There was no developmental psychological support. Oh, we learned this. We got to school, teachers told us, oh, your language is vernacular. Speak English. Our proprietor told us you have to smell certain way, you have to step certain way. Go every afternoon they open CNN, they say we should watch CNN. They said we should learn how they speak. We have to be able to speak like them. So right from a very young age, the mediocrity was already there. So imagine saying, I'm trying to unearth something for you. So imagine seeing somebody that your proprietor told you to watch every day. Like, I'm talking about all through the time of the lecture day when I was in secondary school, GSS to SS class, the most celebrated day, hours of the day, sorry, is that hour when the proprietor tell everybody, let's watch CNN. So we come, we sit, and the CNN journalist is speaking. When he says certain word, they'll pause. They'll be like, repeat. So we have to be able to say it exactly the way he said it. So the guy that pronounced it best, they are going to give him some, gift in celebration of, in my opinion, right now with my level of knowledge, I call it celebration of mediocrity. Because you will never be the original copy. But we never knew this. We saw it as developmental. We saw it as being part of the system. A system which we knew nothing of. So the colonization is from bottom to the top. So during some gala met, festivals and some big occasion, our proprietor will call us, sit us down, put us in the cinema hall, tell us, look at these European guys, look at how they're dressed, look at how they're working, look at everything. Now, what will he tell us? He will tell us this is the behavior of civilized people. You need to watch these people to become even more civilized. So, like, next time when we go to the dining hall or we are somewhere, our proprietor, God bless him right now, is no longer here. He will tell us when we are in the hall, we should try as much as we can to sit the way they sat, to discuss the way they were discussing, to laugh the way they were laughing. You don't understand. A lot of people thought colonization was like when they no, this is colonization, but to us we saw it as a developmental part of our psychological years. We saw it as we were growing. We were learning. We got home. We told our mom, "Do you know what we learned today?" You don't call it that. You don't say call. You say call. And to a young kid, it was fun. It was adventure. But we were getting recolonized gradually. So when certain people see you and call you certain things, you can see it right from the body language, because how people were formed from the bottom up was terrible. So this is what we are trying to decomplement right now. So this is the problem, and we're trying to find a solution. So imagine how far we've come. We traveled a lot. Now, we were rich. Our parents were rich without education. I spoke with my dad today, and he still told me he's back to school to learn some more things and all of that. We left our riches. We were pursuing life. We were pursuing more. We were looking for civilization. We were looking for acceptance. That is one thing you should understand about Africans now. An integral part of our identity crisis is acceptance. Africans want to be accepted. So when you look at the conversation of Africans when it comes to handing a seat in the United Nations Security Council, right? They are not talking about we deserve a seat, and if you don't give us that seat, we are not coming back. We don't want to have it. No, this is how you demand. You demand based on what you can leverage on. Africans are begging to have a seat. So it is not because of maybe Cyril Ramaphosa is the certain way or certain president. No, it is because of the formative process that have been able to construct these individuals. Families, this conversation is not for today. Today is an appreciation day. Aside from that, I just told you about how we were made to watch CNN. We saw our proprietor like our God at the time, because these are the elderly people we were looking up to. But now what do we have? That time is gone. Now we transitioned from that time to watching Channel O, to watching CNN, Cartoon Network. All these channels at the time, they were mainstream channels that were dishing out, certain oral vocabulary. And the reason why they were exposing us to this thing was they wanted to change our own identity. You dare not speak your indigenous language in school. We were trying to be among the best. That was everything we lived for in school. We just I wanted to be better than you. But I was shocked when I heard that outside Nigeria and outside Africa, that you are either a good student or you are not. Like there's nothing like first in class, second in class, third in class. So, and if you look at the way Africans are formed, this thing is there. I watch Saint's channel. There's this guy called Saint. I don't Saint something, right? He tells a lot of Africans to be quiet when he's talking, and they keep quiet. He tells them that, like, there's this authoritative, be quiet when I'm speaking. And you see that mediocrity. You see it come out. The projection comes out. It is part of the developmental psychology that we're talking about. Not because they are not good people, not because they are not smart people, but it is because of the formative process. Imagine watching CNN and trying to call certain word a certain way, and you now meet the original person calling it and say, you will be all like, if the person tells you to keep quiet, you will keep quiet. So those people needs to be decolonized. To this day, his name is Mr. Thank you very much. That's the name. So, I mean, I see the faults, I see the fracture. And I don't want to say certain things, right? I did see when, I don't know who, they were in this occasion, and there was this white guy that was talking to him, and I saw his countenance, and I'd be like, you are not like that. And I'll be like, you are not, like, I saw his countenance when the white guy was speaking to him, and I'll be like, no, you're not really what you portray when you are standing with Africans. When you're talking to Africans, this is not your countenance. Like, this is not your makeup. This is not you. But you are bullying some people whose mind are not illuminated enough. But anyway, it is a conversation for another day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. The Android War Museum, whose representative, white South African, I've not watched it. I'll go and watch it. The Android War Museum is now, who is represented by Flo, is now 900 plus subscribers. I mean, the watch hour has been episodic. Families, I have to be honest with you. You all have done a great job. So far, so good. Holding the channel down. I do see I've not been focusing on the channel, right? I've been very, very busy with the Android community. and I've been busy with a lot of things that I've been doing recently. And to see this channel grow to this point, I did ask from the Android War Museum one time like that. I said, if I say 1,000 people to subscribe to the channel, would they, right? Even if we're not 1,000 subscribers yet, but to have been able to reach this number, man, it's something meant for the record book. I won't forget it. I would not forget it. And the way you have been able to help the anchor grow, because a lot of people don't understand that the people are a part of the community. you know I see avalanche comments, I see everybody's comments in the comments, I see the grooming, I see the motivation, I see the support, I see the efforts to try to improve the anchor. And I always talk to the anchor that this is part of the process. The people will make certain suggestions, the people will give certain points. These are the pointers that improve you. These are the pointers that is going to get you there. They watch you, they want you to be the best that they want to see. So the comments are the reviews that are very important. And I really want to thank everybody. I really want to thank everybody to have been able to give us this opportunity to represent you once more. So, ladies and gentlemen, without no further adulation, let me say thank you to the Android War Museum. This is not the regular Android community. This is the Android War Museum. So I want to say thank you. So I really want to appreciate the support. I see you all. So please, families, we'll soon get to 1,000 subscribers. I really, really want to appreciate you once again. Anything can happen, but you all always give me the opportunity to reinforce this idea that with you all, great things can happen. So, yeah. So, families, I want you to speak with your anchor. So I said it was very, very important for us to have this moment where we'll be able to say thank you to the community, because, man, you all have really, really been solid behind us. And I really, really want to give my salute to you. Now, but don't forget, for the Android community, we have a live stream by 12 a.m. where we are going to be talking about the new drone or counter drone warfare and the companies that are being produced, that are already being created in Burkina Faso to counter the emerging drone threat. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. But for now, I'm going to be handing over, the stage to Flo so that she can have a good time with you all and tell you how she feels about your journey together. So far, so good. Thank you, and God bless you.
Hi everyone. So I just want to say a very, very big thank you to everybody. Your words have been so encouraging, really kind words. I used to be so camera shy, but your encouraging words, they pushed me out of my shell. I am very, very grateful. And thank you in particular to the persons that wished me well on my nuptials. Hello. I am You're the best. Yes, you're the very best. You people are amazing. Thank you to all of you awesome subscribers. Thank you for your comments. They are really helping. Thank you so much. So I'll see you in thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I am. I am. So I will see you in my next video. Thank you.